Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, people? Another episode of Music Life Social Podcast.
Music Life.
One of your hosts, Rob Villa.
You know what it
Yes,
is.
sir.
Honorable Mill salute. Signature styles as always.
What it look like, G Wiz?
Okay, so our topic today is what we're going to discuss is top 5 hip hop songs of each decade, starting from the 80s, 90s,
Most influential top hip hop song.
2000s, and 2010s. So influential could be from anywhere from as far as with yourself, it's really subjective as far as with yourself, how it was playing in the club or in the streets, and how whatever song that you may choose that we chose, how did it possibly change the game as far as with hip hop or in culture, period.
Yeah.
So, it's hard, as far as with top 5, breaking it down, like it's really hard doing top 5 songs.
Yeah.
Albums probably easier, but like top 5 songs, they make you put on your thinking cap and like, all right.
Yeah.
Some people
honestly,
get left off.
we should have did top 10 if it was just going to be us three, because we could have been. That's still a lot. That's still 30 songs.
That's still
that's a lot of songs. That's
I would rack my
25 songs, but it's only going to be me and you.
There is no top 10. There's no top 5. There's no top 30. I mean, it's somebody's going to get left off.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so there's no shot at anybody, like, because it's a lot of great songs that came out each decade.
This is impossible.
Yeah. So this list, like, so people if you're in the comments and everything saying, "What about this?" and we'll probably agree with you.
There's a whole bunch of "What about this?" It was so hard for me to pick 5 songs, and then I had to. So that's why when I say most influential, I had to narrow it down to like my experiences personally. Personally, what was I doing? What makes me remember that song? Why? Because it's a lot of songs. Like, it almost can't even be 10 songs. A decade is 10 years. Like, just almost no way to pick 10 songs, man. That's just like the 80s and the 90s. It was like almost impossible. You're leaving something on the table, guaranteed. In the 80s and the 90s, guaranteed you're leaving something on. You definitely not getting every song. Even like I said, it should have been more than 10, but we trying to be realistic here.
Yeah, even then it's like crazy. So I just go ahead and jump into it and say my if y'all we go from 80s, everybody do their 80s, and we go back, circle around the 90s, 2000s.
Okay.
And then
let's do it like that.
Okay, so the 80s, I got some favorite artists got left off, but I'm sorry. So the number one of the songs that resonated with me was the first song I ever really heard. It like I was like, dang, this is hard. The Message, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5.
Okay.
That was like, you had like 5. They was spit. Melly Mel was just. It's so crazy. Those lyrics still resonate today.
That's right.
So I have that. Another one, NWA, Fuck the Police. Like that. The West Coast came in the door, kicked it open in hip hop, and like, yo, this was going on in the West Coast.
Right.
This is like, hey,
right.
I was like, damn, it was like,
See what I'm saying? There's so many songs, man.
Going at the cops. You saying?
Yeah, that's real.
Because I remember that because I was out here at that time when their album was released.
Yeah,
I was just a kid, but I remember it very well.
And I'm like, it made me feel Compton. I was like, I ain't going out there. I would never. I thought it was like a war zone. Just how to describe it.
No, it was. It was.
You remember your boy got beat down? What year was that? That wasn't around that year though.
To my Rodney King?
Yeah.
That was like 92.
92. Yeah, okay.
A couple years after. So they was predicting. It was letting you know it was going on. It just got caught on tape.
Yeah,
Rodney
King. Crazy. That's crazy.
But next one, this song has been remade I would say almost every decade since it came out. Some artists remade Slick Rick Children's Story.
Children's Story.
That song has been done. Black Rob redid it. Who else? It's a lot of
that sample, but not the whole concept.
Yeah, no, the song. Like Black Rob did, he got Thug Story. He's like on his album.
I remember Black Rob joint. He said, "Who else?
It's somebody else.
I know. Mad Cats used that sample.
Matter of fact, Snoop Dogg did it. Snoop Dogg did it. He did it in the movie Old School. He redid it. He did it. He remade that song. And so I was like, Slick, that you can escape that song. I'm like, dang, this is hard. The video too. The video was ill too.
Yeah,
And the video too, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I got a. It's like I got a one. I got a. Well, I'm gonna go with the. Well, I'm gonna go with the next one. This song. Well, this person or group when they came in, they changed the whole landscape of rap, hip hop, or how you spit. Eric B and Rakim. Eric B for president.
Nice.
That junk. It's like, hold up.
President. You know what? That was gonna be on my list too, because
and that changed how you MCs came like we ain't rapping like no disrespect to Melly Mel and all them, you know. But you gotta be spitting bars lyrical, and he did not curse.
Yeah, and that was crazy. Yep.
Did not curse. Now I got my last one, last two. I'm using a cheat code. So these two songs.
That's like 7. You had like 6, 7.
No. That's 4. I did 4. That's 4. So they are tied. These two songs, "Fight the Power of Public Enemy" and "Self Destruction."
Oh, I forgot about Self-Destruction.
Them two,
oh man,
them two out here, them two songs, they came out like back to back, and it was
should have been on my list.
Self-Destruction. He said, "I never ran from a Ku Klux Klan. I shouldn't have to run from a black man." I'm like, and he had all the. They had
Everybody
that song.
was on that song. That's right.
Yeah, from different Heavy D.
That was like We Are the World for hip hop back then.
Yes, all them cats was spitting, and like that was LL wrote MC Light's verse, and like everybody contributed to that song.
That definitely should have been on my list for sure.
That was the pinnacle. Like I think that was like one of the unity thing. Like, hey man, you play that song, and you play Fight the Power. Those two songs, you play those. It's a rap. That was a revolutionary.
Yeah, revolutionary
stuff. Like, you know, hey man, we gotta, you know what I'm saying? Those are my, I guess, 5, technically 6. I couldn't leave out Fight the Power and Self-Destruction. Those two songs right there, they go hand in hand, you know.
Right.
So I'm going to go next.
Okay. Gee whiz, you want to run down your joints for the 80s?
Go ahead. No, go ahead and
want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead and run
this. Let me pull out my list, man. Yeah. This was a hard list. You know, I got you know, impossible list. This was crazy, man. This was crazy, but you know, I came up with this idea.
Yeah, you the one put out thinking caps.
But this joint is crazy. I don't know. I don't know how. You know what I mean? It was mad hard. Like to the brink. Like I called you right after I picked my last song and called you like, "Yo, what's good?" Like, so for the 80s, I'm gonna just start from the top of my list. It's no order, but I'm gonna say 1988, A Children's Story, Slick Rick. You already know. We got that joint out there.
I'm quite sure everybody put
we got that. That's 88. You know, like you said, the video. You know, he was talking about some dope fiend and the kid, and you know what I'm saying, all that stuff with the cop. You know, it's just like a vivid story, and you know, it was Jules on in the video, the ill Jules with the Wallabies or whatever he had.
They did the dance. The limo came up.
It was crazy, yeah. So Children's Story was definitely like, you know, how many times we seen that. I don't know if it was Video Music Box or whatever we was watching, but we definitely Children's Story definitely is one of the main, most impressionable, memorable type joints.
Yeah.
You know, from back in the day. So I'm gonna go with another one with Rakim. Hold on. Rakim, My Melody. Listen to My Melody.
Okay.
I remember that joint ringing off in Cars Through the Hood, and I just remember that. Yo, so Rakim, My Melody, and like you said, you know, when he came with the new lyrics and the new whole next level of flows and everything, just was, you know what I'm saying?
Game changer.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Rakim, that's my favorite MC of all times. You know, and he from Island, all of that combined, like, you know, that was a big impact.
Yeah, no one's gonna talk you for Rakim. I can't. He's in my top 3.
Yeah, for sure. Rakim is up there.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm keeping it Long Island on another one for the 80s. I'm gonna go with EPMD. Please listen to my demo. You know, I was trying to do music early when I was first getting influenced into the music.
Indeed.
I didn't really have no demo or nothing, but back in the 80s. But that joint was a smooth, like that track. You know, EPMD just already had a name, so that was just one of the joints I liked. I really liked. You know what I mean? Off of the
I was slept on.
You know, back in the days, you could play the whole album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. EPMD. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with the Black Steel by Public Enemy.
Ooh,
I got a letter from
the government
the other day. Said he was
suckers.
They wanted me for the army or whatever. Picture me giving damn. I said never. So you know they from Roosevelt. They from my hometown. Yeah. Public Enemy, Rico, Flavor Flav. You know what I'm saying? So you know that was ringing off in the hood. You know that was ringing off. You know, welcome to the Turn Dome. That stuff was ringing off all through the hood. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with that. Black Steel by Public Enemy, 1988. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna go with my fifth one. I think this is my fifth one, right?
Yeah.
Children's Story, EPMD, Rakim, Black Steel, and my last joint is going to be the Symphony. You already know.
I was leaning towards that one.
The Symphony, boy, because there's just so many hard hitters on that joint. Like it's legendary. Everybody basically is a legend now. That was you know what I'm saying? So my fifth and last joint is going to be the Symphony by Marley Marl,
Craig G,
Crew All Stars, Craig G, Master Coogee Rap, Big Daddy Kane. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So ace, you know what I mean?
That's the ace, man. Yeah.
That's my top. That's my top picks, or my top that's 5 picks.
Okay.
5 picks. I ain't gonna say the top 5, but
let's be real. That's what's reported. It's not the top 5. There is
that's just what's being reported on this session. There you go.
Reported.
Those are up there though for sure.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, I gotta go. I'm from St. Louis, so I remember being like in the mid '80s, going back to St. Louis and visiting my grandmother. So I got to go back. What was being bumping, and it was LL Cool J's "I'm Bad," and so
I heard you. Oh yeah, we already know I'm bad. You already know.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I gotta give mad props to that.
I would have had that on my list too.
I ain't mad at LL.
Yeah.
I'm bad was one of the
as a matter of fact, LL could have been on
each list.
Yeah, his
90s. We need to do a project list or an album list too, because
for sure.
Pick projects. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But LL is in there.
LL is in there. He has to be in there. He has to be in there. I mean, radio and all that, that shit.
Hell yeah.
But I'm also gonna give a shout out to Too Short, because Life Is.
Too Short.
Life is. That's right. Yeah, that was it. That was
independent too, boy. Independent, boy. I'm messing with Too Short.
Life Is, and I gotta give a shout out to that. The Life Is Too Short, and I can give as a matter of fact, I can give cuss words because it was a battle between that and cuss words, because cuss words was dope. Cuss words.
Oh yeah.
If you remember,
it was
that song "Cuss Words."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, but Straight Outta Compton.
I was torn between that. Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, I had to do that because
crazy mother named Ice Cube.
Yeah, because I was out here at the time. I mean, I could me and my friends, get on the freeway. We were just kids, but the freeway, we were like an hour away from Compton, and so it was real in the streets back then. And so in terms of beef between certain ethnicities and things like that, and so it was real. And so Slick Rick, of course, Children's Story. I think he's betting 1,000 on that. He's betting 1,000 on that. And so that's I think that goes without saying. And so But I'm gonna take y'all back. Like I think this is '84. This is Houdini.
I was this close to putting Houdini.
Okay.
Houdini, boy.
This is I got well, there's two. You got Friends, of course.
Oh
But
yeah.
Freaks come out at night.
Yeah, Freaks come out at night.
Freaks come out at night.
That was hard. You can't even argue. You can't argue with those two. You can't even argue with 5 minutes of funk. 5 minutes of funk.
Yeah.
They was spitting on that.
Yeah. You couldn't get my understanding. You couldn't get there was 2 tickets you couldn't get back in the '80s. One was Houdini, and the other one was the what was the dude? He had Aha. Remember that group?
The rapping cowboy, Duke.
Not Duke. You talking about something else?
No.
What you talking about?
Right? That's a different genre. I'm just saying you couldn't get a Houdini ticket. Not in concert.
They would. Yeah, because my mom told me she went to a couple Houdini. Well, we went when they back in the day, back in the 2000s with the Houdini concerts. But she was telling me back in the '80s, like Houdini was the Houdini. It was Houdini and Run DMC and the Fat Boys.
Yeah,
there was a 3.
Boys, you said the Fat Boys.
Them 3 top dogs.
Believe it or not,
that's what I'm saying. I forgot about Fat Boys. It's mad. Like Biz Markie should have been on the list. Like it's
just
mad.
a friend. Biz Markie just a friend.
I forgot I was talking to my boys, man. We ain't even get to the '90s, but we gonna wait till we get.
I think even further. Remember UTFO?
Yeah.
Roxanne.
Yeah.
I was gonna go there with you, but I didn't.
So you know it's a list going around.
Rest in peace, Kango Kid.
With some type of list going around, like the worst rappers or something. But we need to talk about these lists too on some other show, like because she was like top female rappers. That's what it was. The top female.
Yeah. Billboard put that out.
They didn't know that. My wifey didn't know about Roxanne Shante. I'm like, what? Roxanne Shante is original. Like she's legend. Like
legend.
You gotta know. You gotta know this.
OG.
They know the new.
Yeah. Some of them cats is ranked high. Yeah, so that was good. Those '80s lists, baby had them.
So we could say the top song, most influential song from the '80s, basically in so many words from this selection here is Children's Story.
Oh, everybody had Children's Story.
We all had Children's.
Everybody had Children's Story. Yeah, but then you could say too, like some of the groups we had on there.
There is no wrong answer.
Yeah, there ain't no wrong, because some of the artists we had on there, we kind of had like it's the same, because like some had Public Enemy, we had Public Enemy and
artists. We should do artists too. That'd be another thing. Just pick the artist, then pick projects, pick album. We could switch it up.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna do that.
Yeah. Let's jump into the '90s then. We'll see what we going in the '90s, because I think
the hardest decade of all times, I think.
This is
impossible.
Because I think all of us was in our formative years. We was like teenagers going to young adults at that time. So it's like we was from like some from 14 to almost 19, early 20s, early 20s,
the late teens.
No,
I would say
so we go from 90 to 99. So we went from young men
from high school.
Yeah.
High school to college.
Whole middle school. You went through middle school. Basically from middle school on, basically.
To adulthood.
10 years, yeah.
Early adulthood. So it's so that's gonna be I'm most interested how this list gonna play out. So it's a wide range. So
it's crazy.
I got I guess I picked one for, and this song I'm about to say, I was cool with the song, but that song had an impact on everything. And I guess this artist breakout song, I would say Snoop, Gin and Juice. Like, at the time when it came out, I wouldn't know what I was drinking, but I was like, okay, sipping on gin, one of the key phrases on there was like, my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
You know what?
We say that in our lexicon now. So I got my money. What you doing? Got my mind on my money on my mind. And that, it's like, damn, that was a bar. But,
Yeah, for sure.
Laid back. So I say Snoop,
that was definitely
Gin and Juice. Even though that's one of his most popular songs, you play that and people are going to know, they probably gonna know what that song is, even though that was his second single. It wasn't even his first single. So, this song right here, you couldn't escape it. I was like a freshman in high school. I'm like, this is cool, but the whole the group's project was way better than that song they came out with, which I was probably commercial with. Down with OPP.
Okay.
Naughty by Nature.
Oh
Down with OPP.
I done went to a concert with Naughty by Nature, Tretch, Apache, Tretch, Naughty by Nature, Apache, the Flavor Unit, basically. Queen Latifah, they had a fire at the Westbury Music Fair, and it was crazy because they ended up letting cats get their ticket, came back for another concert. That was pretty dope. We seen Apache, he started smoking. It was a fire. Something went on in the concert, but yeah, OPP was definitely running off.
And other people's penis, other people's property, other people's and then Def Jam.
Yeah.
It was escapable. Def Jam, a lot of comedians was they used that and used it as jokes, as a punchline. And and he was I think he was one of the first rappers I ever heard that was rapping fast. And he was spitting. It's you had to really listen to his bars. It was Tretch was one of the first ones.
At one point
Tretch was spitting.
Yeah. So I was damn, he's spitting. I was but damn, I gotta rewind and see what I said, okay.
Yeah. What does he
make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. This song, I don't know if it's special, but it's a memory. It's so memorable to me. At the time the song came out, a couple months prior to my uncle died, and he was a big Bone fan, Crossroads, and it came out right when a couple months before he died, and I'm Crossroads.
Uncle Charles.
Yeah, Uncle Charles. Everybody said, "Miss Uncle Charles." Crossroads, you can that's universal. I guess it's I hate to say it. It's you could play that at a funeral or whatever. Your homies in
that's a funeral song. Sure.
Yeah, and people know. Yeah, if people know what you're talking about, Meet You at the Crossover, even though it's dedicated to Eazy-E, R.I.P. That was a unique, beautiful song. I think that's one.
The video was ill too. That video was scary though, kind of
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't he was giving them the black
Grim Reaper? He was a Grim Reaper, but he turned out he was an angel.
It was the Undertaker.
Yeah, but he was an angel at the end. He came on being an angel. He was taking them to heaven. He was leading them to heaven, but it looked
that was crazy. Turn their eyes black.
Black. Yeah.
Shit. In the video, that was that was a different level.
I was shit.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was taking them to heaven, but.
This one, I guess we were, this one, we was in our clubbing days, going to the club, clubbing days.
What's this gonna be?
He changed the game after Pac died. This song, Rough Riders Anthems. You say stop, drop, shut them down, open up shop. Anthems.
You know how many songs I don't.
You hear that? Dun, 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 dun. You hear it? When we heard that back then, you
drop. Shut it down,
open up shop. Whoa.
Man.
Yeah.
Right, dude. You right.
That it was like New York came back again. It was oh no,
I thought you was gonna say your boy Freeway, because that was a ringer.
Oh, but that was 2000.
That was 2000.
Yeah. I forgot about that one. So the last one, I don't care. This song come on, all the men gonna rush to the dance floor because they know all the women gonna go to the dance floor.
I'm about to say, whoa.
No, because all the women gonna be at the dance floor. And Gary, you probably remember we went to Tower Records and bought this album at the same time. Cash Money taking over for the 99 2000. Look at what back that ass up, Julie. Look at that ass. You play that now?
The 9 and the
2000s. That came out the end. So back that ass up. That was
yeah.
So it's
that was actually on my list.
A good Juvenile, back that up. That was a good album. But that song, you play it any part that's
way for real.
You play that now. We have a party. If somebody have a house party, you put that song on. All the women gonna stop. And back that ass up.
Get it popping.
Get it popping.
Again, they may be approaching 50 right now.
Yeah, but they'll
back it up.
What you say?
They go still back there.
Oh, that's fine though. Fine like wine now.
That
Fine
still look
like
good.
wine.
That still
Don't
look
worry.
good. Yeah, still look good.
So those my for the 90s.
All right, so you want to go G Wiz or you want to keep it in rotation? How we rotate?
Nigga, I can go ahead and go.
All right, yeah. Let's switch it up.
You know, this is like 93. You know, I got to go with the Woo, with the Cream. Cat thing around me.
Yes, yes.
Heard you. Because I was like, damn. I told you, like, you ain't got no Wu-Tang on your list. I'm like,
Absolutely.
damn, that's the first song I thought about was Cream.
The 36 Chambers was that
whole project.
I think that's part of the movement that changed everything, man. For real.
Yeah, Cream. And
93 was a crazy year too.
Cream,
93.
That Cream.
You think about
93. That Cream.
Because
everything around.
Them three albums dropped in 93 was pivotal, and each song had the Wu-Tang Cream, Snoop album dropped in 93, and Tribe dropped in 93.
I think that was the golden age of rap, to be honest with you.
Yeah, 93.
Yeah.
Cream, and that song, that word is used in a lexicon like, yo, I'm getting
everyone
Cream.
Exactly.
Getting cream.
Everyone, when you say the word cream, everyone's like, oh, with that, what you talking about? Yeah.
So,
okay. I'm going to go with
Yeah.
So I got to go with, one. I was a huge Naughty by Nature fan, so I'm with Ravilla on this one. OPP was just that was the top of my dome piece when
you down with OPP?
You down with OPP?
Hey,
yeah.
The Michael Jackson sample too. Okay,
yeah, man.
Jackson 5. Excuse me. Yeah,
I think I don't. That was a phenomenon back then.
Yeah,
everyone knew that. I mean, every I don't care if you black, white, or in between. Everyone knew OPP. You knew that. You knew that song.
MTV remade the song. They said, "You down with MTV?" Yeah, you remember they had all the MTV VJs. They remade that song.
Yeah, comedians and everything. I mean, so that's. I'm gonna go with this. I don't know if you guys may agree with this, but I'm gonna go with DMX on this one. Stop being greedy. Stop being greedy.
Stop being greedy. Yeah, DMX was crazy though.
DMX, this song right here. This is because I was in Atlanta probably at that time, probably only like a few years. When I heard this song, it made me wanted to move back. It wanted me to move back to New York City. That's just how dope this song was. And I said, yo, I mean, I can run in Central Park or whatever. I mean, but it made me want to like, dude, I gotta get in touch with that because it was that dope.
Yeah, it brought New York back again. Like it was like
that Def Jam run was like a big run for New York with them DMX and them drop.
It was big
man, Redman, and Ja Rule and Jay-Z. That was a
them three alone. Like yeah.
So I gotta give mad props to that. But Big Papa, Biggie,
okay,
yeah, I got that takes me back. Yeah, and so I mean, I remember I was at U of O. I mean, they were. Yeah, there were white girls talking. I mean, they were spitting lyrics about.
Yeah, because that's a crossover. That's what that was the crossover. That's what I say. Like never no disrespect to Biggie. You see, I got Biggie, but when I was talking to my peoples last night, like let's be real, it was Mad Cats that was iller than Biggie. Mad Cats, but what he did for the culture and what he did for New York is what pushed him to propel them to that level of his status. He put New York back on some fly Gucci type
Willie,
gangster, like not really gangster, but hood nigga,
mob,
flashy,
you
know what I'm saying, Puff Daddy style type vibe. So that was a new image, like for Cat. You know what I mean? For New York and all that.
So because plus like you gotta get on the radio. Yeah, you want to be this up figure. You would stay there for the album, but them singles, we got to get them singles on the radio.
That's how New York was. New York Cats wasn't really just trying to go for the radio. That's why it was a thing like, you got to make this hit. You got to make this hit song because Cats was just making music. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he was
Versus
making
trying to get a radio hit. So when
Mhm.
Biggie came out, it was like, oh, Juicy and One
Yeah.
More Chance, and that was like a fly level. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the
Right.
next one?
And look, I put this one on here because I think one, because of who he is, and he deserved to be on it from the '90s. But I think this particular song, I think everyone can relate to it, and this is Pop Temptations.
Oh, that's my song.
Yeah, I think we
That's
can
my
all
What now?
Temptations.
Temptation.
You said about Pop?
Yeah,
Yeah, Tupac. I mess with that one.
yeah.
Man, I
Hey,
hear that right now.
I don't know anyone who
hey. It's off the Me Against the World album. He
Yeah,
was locked up.
no, that's something else.
Everybody was in he was locked up. He had all the celebrities in the video and stuff.
can.
Damn, I
So
probably know. I definitely know what you're
I
talking
think
about. I
everyone
just
can relate to that because
yeah,
I
right
think this is some real life shit though. Because
Mhm.
I mean, you go outside, you go to the grocery store, you tempted. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
you gotta act on it or anything like that. But that
Yeah.
he introduced you. One thing about him, he just introduced you to some real life shit, and so that's
Yeah.
the thing I appreciate it. And so I thought he deserved to be on it just from that alone. But he has several songs that could be on this list.
yeah. Pop
Yeah.
got
That was the one.
Pop got joint.
That was just the one I picked. But he has a list of songs that could be on the list.
Right,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right. So
That
that was
was
your
good.
Pop.
That was a good list.
All right,
You got
nice.
Junior Mills.
Nice. All right. So let me get into my my '90s list, my 5 picks from the '90s, which was like the hardest thing ever. Our era is the illest era, basically.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna just start with uh from home. You know what I mean. So one of the most memorable joints was I'm gonna pick 1994, New York State of Mind by Nas. You know what I'm saying.
Mm.
Nasir.
Boom.
I was home, New York.
Let's go.
Nas
Yeah.
came out, he dropped. I had It Ain't Hard to Tell on here too, because I bought that single on the tape, bought that single, the remix, all that.
Believe
But
it or not, that was on my list. That was on my list. It ain't hard to tell. It was on
it
my
ain't hard
list.
to tell. Yeah. So that was
Yeah.
on my list too. But I'm gonna go with New York State of Mind because I was from New York. You know what I mean? It was just the Nas
The
dropped
anthem.
some lyrics. He was like the next level of Rakim. Like it came out again,
Yeah.
like another like. He was just so ill with the bars, and New York
Yeah.
State of Mind, all
That's
that.
crazy. I had the world is yours. I was gonna, but I had to let it. That was
That's what I'm
anything
saying.
off the Illmatic. Like it was, you could pick any song off the Illmatic. You
Yeah,
could have picked Righteous
he
Bitch.
joints off Illmatic.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
And then
but that particular album, that was my freshman year, and so I remember it. Quite frankly, I remember I bought that album at right across the street from the bookstore at Oregon, and I remember going to the dorm room and I was bumping it, and so that it strikes a particular chord with me because
Nostalgia.
yeah.
That's how we saying. That's how
I bought that and Biggie's album on the same day, the exact same day. I bought them at the same time.
No doubt. See, that's what I'm saying. That's how I had to narrow it down. Like trying to pick, I had to literally narrow it down to things like what you saying. Like what event? How can what makes me remember this song? Like what was I doing? What vibe was I on? And that's how I had to narrow it down because it's like you said, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with my next one. This is the '90s, right?
Yeah.
I got so many joints, man. Since I said Nas, I'm gonna have to go with. Even though I'm gonna just have to go with this one. My boy Jay-Z, Can I Live? Off that Reasonable Doubt project. I had a couple joints off of there, off of Reasonable Doubt. But I remember walking through Hempstead and what I'm saying, bumping that joint in the headphones on the Walkman. You know what I'm saying? Walking through
Can I live?
Jackson and all that. Yeah, that Can I Live? Can I live? Cry like what? So if you be catching me in the yeah. Jay's one of my guys too. So I'm gonna go with that. Jay-Z, Can I Live? That was 1996. So now I'm gonna go with another 1996 joint, which is doubling back on your boy Nas with a couple of extras, I'm gonna go with The Firm, Affirmative Action, 1996.
I thought it was written.
Foxy Brown.
She was spitting on that. Ooh,
Foxy Brown, Nas, A.Z.
Cormega,
AZ on here, Sugar Hill, Whole Happy Jackie, but I ain't got, you know
Whole
what I mean?
Happy Jackie.
Songs
Ooh,
that I can put on this list, B.
Whole Happy Jackie was nice.
Cormega, you know, Affirmative Action. Dre producing the beats. It was crazy. 96 was fresh out of school and in ATL. Niggas was in
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
I was in Atlanta already.
yeah.
So, you know, definitely one of the most big impactful joints. You know what I'm saying? The Firm, Affirmative Action, 1996, man.
Okay.
6. And then I'm gonna have to go. Let me see, man, because you know I got. So I'm gonna have to go to 1994, what 94, 95, whatever. Mobb Deep, Shook Ones.
Mm-hmm.
I do the Shook Ones for the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
You already know the Hennessy jerseys. They was in the video with the bottles before they was, you know what I'm saying, like without a sponsorship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So definitely Shook Ones, Rest in Peace, Prodigy. You know what I mean?
R.I.P.
The Havoc, he's still doing his thing.
Yeah, the album's supposed to drop this year.
Album's supposed to drop this year. Yep, a Mob album. So that's official. That's official coming in. You know what I'm saying? So salute the Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? Shook Ones. Then I'm gonna have to go with Keeping It Funky. That was that 3 or that was 4?
That was 4.
So I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna say Stranded on Death Row.
Ooh, off the Chronic.
Off the Chronic, 1992, the album with everybody,
You know
RBX.
that was on my list too. But
Rage,
Corrupt,
Yes.
Come on, B. Come on.
Bushwick Bill was on there too.
Yep.
Yep. Oh shit, they got Bushwick Bill.
People that look at things what happened, people that wonder what happened, and people like us that make things happen.
Stranded on Death Row, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah. That was hard. That was one of the hard.
And I got a story, a little mini story about with my cousin who was in the military. He lived in Cali. He was in the military in Cali and came home like I guess 92. I guess it was, I wasn't even out of high school. Like in the 90s, like I guess it was 92. It might have been 91. I don't know. But he had the whole Chronic on the tape. We was playing in the car, like, and we from New York. We never heard of this shit before. Like never. Like, this was crazy. It was crazy. Man. It was crazy. We just hearing all them people, the different flows, styles, and everything on them beats. It was with the door closing on the track. You hear
jail cell.
Like,
yeah. I remember
this is crazy. You feel me? So
everybody, I heard. I was like, damn, what the heck? Like, because Snoop, he just had that single. What was it?
Doggy Style or the one?
Deep Cover. Deep Cover. He was on Deep Cover.
Yeah, they did remixes and everything on Deep Cover.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's why he came on spin. I was like, okay. Yeah. So that's the everybody had a good list for the 90s.
For the 90s, that's the 90s.
So all right, that's like we said, Whole Happy Jackie was on the AZ album, Sugar Hill.
Oh, yeah, AZ album, Sugar Hill, Whole Happy. That was one album. That's why I be saying, like, man, you know how many joints.
That's Unique was one of the hard ones too. Pete Rock did that.
Highly Unique. Yep.
Whole Happy Jackie was my favorite one.
It's one of the most unheralded. By the way, I remember we had me and one of my teammates. We were on an upper level, and we had some Samoans below us. They were bumping AZ's Sugar Hill. I mean, it was ridiculous. Sugar Hill was like world renowned.
Yeah, Sugar Hill.
That Sugar. I think AZ is one of the dopest lyrics. I think he's one of the dopest lyricists that no one talks about. I think AZ.
When he was coming up, I keep saying this, man. No shade to one of the illest of all time. When we was coming up, we was saying AZ was better than Nas. I'm telling you. That's what we was saying.
AZ,
Nas was a phenomenon. So he was like, who is this on these joints with him? Like, yo, this nigga's nicer than Nas. Like, who is that? And it was AZ, nigga from Brooklyn. We thought he was from Queens. We thought he was just part of the Queen. We thought he was from wherever Nas was from. You feel me?
Yeah,
I'm just
He
saying
was
yeah.
that.
nice.
I'm just saying at the
Yo,
time he touched
Look,
the Pacific Islanders. He touched blacks, whites, whatever. Everyone was listening. Um,
mm,
uh,
that Sugar
hip hop
Hill.
at that time. Hip hop
Miss
at that time.
Jones was on that, right?
Hmm?
yeah. Miss
Yeah.
Jones is on
Miss
the
Jones
single.
was
Mhm.
singing
Yeah,
on that joint. Yeah,
yeah.
she's a legendary joint.
AZ is respected.
You know,
But
for
we
what?
jump into 2000s. I know 2000s. It's gonna be this is gonna fairly it probably get hard, but at the same time it should because certain stuff was like I think at the time hip hop it really got really commercialized at
Well,
this
this
era
is
Right.
like
this is
That's why
when
I started fading on these 2000s and 2010s. I was getting lost, man. I
yeah
really had to it was a blur. I'm like, it seemed like it was a blur to me because I don't have no real significant. But
yeah
like you said, the music was changing, so it was
yeah
just
it's
different. It was just different.
well
because boy the internet would start to come
Yeah,
being vastly out there. So it's
taking
like
over everything.
so
when
you know
I already said before. I think after the change, once we hit the 2000s, um, me mentally, I start thinking about other things, and so this is where I think you two probably will have more. I mean, I'll intervene because I remember the
yeah
2000s, but to sit back and think, I can't recall every artist and album and things like that. You guys may have
yeah
idea about that.
so
That's when my career was my main.
starting to take off
Yeah,
which is cool life happens. So I guess I got 5, but it's no particular order. So one of the first ones I guess it kind of
Right.
MOP Annie Up remix
yes. Hmm.
that that was they had. I'm like, damn, they got one. Okay, I was always a fan of MOP, and Remy on there. Of course, I wish I could bring Pun back.
Being good,
Man,
pun back, yeah.
yeah. So
That was like 98 though.
nah,
Nah,
Pun died in 2000.
that was
No, no,
2000.
he died in 2000. But that Big Pun, I think that song was.
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm talking about we talking about bringing my shot in the mouth on the NER
Yeah, on that
remix.
song,
Oh,
on that
okay,
She's
song.
like, I wish I could bring Pun back.
okay, I got it.
Of course, this is one of my least favorite songs, but you couldn't escape it. Time was like, it's all right, it's cool. It's like 50 in the club,
Okay,
like
okay. I saw that.
that 50 Cent in the club. It's like, go short, it's your birthday. Like,
But it's borderline. It's borderline. It's borderline.
yeah, like when it came out, I was like, all right, it's cool. But then it just took a course on its own. I'm about to go with this one. This album came out at the end of 99, but the single came out in 2000. DMX Party Up in Here.
Yo,
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. We was in the club. Y'all gonna make me
Yeah,
go all out.
make me go all out.
Wow. Up in
Up
here.
in here. Up in
Up
here.
in
Y'all
here.
gonna make me act a fool.
You're a fool.
X boy, that boy DMX boy.
that song that was so dope. That was on King of Queens. Remember
No,
that?
for
I
real.
don't know if you remember. Yeah, it
I
was.
think I remember the episode.
Yeah.
All right,
So
my
y'all
fourth
gonna make
one.
me lose my
He
mind.
this song is like you can use, like he had a hand move and everything, dance like I was like, I was shocked that he made a hit, but he was cool. Jim Jones, ballin'.
Oh yeah.
Me fly high.
Ballin'. Nah.
What's that? We fly
Yeah.
ball
Yeah,
with a hook.
everybody was balling.
Yeah,
Nobody had
balling.
no deal, no contract, but nobody was in the league, but
Yes.
in the street league, balling in the street. So you already know.
Yeah. And my last one is like actually is one of my favorites. This came out in 08, by spring, summer 08. And it's like, dang, it was cool. Lil Wayne, a Millie. A Millie.
I had that on my list too, a Millie. It didn't make the list, but I had that on there.
Millie. Timon it.
Nice. Okay,
So,
a Millie. All right,
yeah,
all
so
right.
those my joints.
That's your 5 for the 2000, from the
Yeah.
99, 19, for the 99, not for the 99, but for the 2000.
2010 to 2000 to 2010.
All right, so I'm gonna start off with a joint. My first joint on the list. I don't want to sound repetitive, but this Annie Up, MOP.
Mm-hmm.
You already know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Annie Up was crazy, like you said. I wish the Scandals was as scandalous, but shout out to Remy on there. She had like, this argument that she had the hottest verse on that song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
shout out to MOP and Remy Ma and them on that on that Annie Up joint for the 2000.
Yeah.
So then like you said, it was these songs was picked among off of experiences. My experience, I just had to narrow it down. You know what I mean? So this one I'm gonna go with 2005. Your boy Rick Ross, Hustling. That Hustling came out.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my joint. Be like Florida. It just
Yeah.
put you in the vibe. You know what I mean? It just put you in that New York,
I
Florida
still
vibe.
listen to that.
Coats in the water.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So hold up. Before I keep going into my 2000 list, I just want to get an honorable mention. I got my merch, but you see, I had to rock for the 80s and the 90s. I feel
Okay.
like Mike Tyson,
That's
Michael
hard.
Jordan, Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? But salute to them for the for the 80s and the 90s combo kit. But back to my 2000 list. So I was Rick Ross, 2005, Hustling. You know me, hustling. So I was hustling. But all right. So then I'm gonna go with my next joint, which was an ill joint, kind of introduced cats and all that, and put we put two people together, and this was 2007 joint from your boys Players Circle, Duffel Bag Boy.
Oh yeah. Go and get your money, little duffel bag boy. I was gonna
The
have
only
that.
the only nigga when you call him titty, you ain't thinking no homo shit. You just think it's a
Yeah.
when they
Get
was calling
money.
2 Chainz titty boy.
Yeah.
You ain't thinking that. You ain't think it was no suspect shit. It was just a name. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
shout out to them, man. That joint was fire too. Lil Wayne was on there, by the way. That's why I was saying
Yeah.
make connections and
Yes.
type deal. Lil Wayne, 2 Chainz, and what was your boy name that was with 2 Chainz? His
Dollar
verse
Boy.
was hard.
Dollar Boy.
Yeah,
Dollar
his
Boy.
joint was hard too.
Next time you yappin', happen. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dollar
you
Boy.
know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna
Yes.
go with it's number 4, Keeping It Funky, another 2000. Now this is a 2000 joint. The next episode with Dr. Dre.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with the next episode, Dr. Dre.
Ooh.
The next episode,
So,
that was a big hit.
yeah. Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It was
That
crazy.
was
So
one.
that
That's a
that was
banger.
a big hit. 2000 on it right in the 2000. I think he even said that in the song. This is the next episode, but 2000 Dr. Dre, man. So for my last joint for the 2000 up to 2009s is New York by your boy Jay-Z, featuring
Oh yeah.
Alicia Keys,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
New
And
York,
Prophet of Mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
New
Okay.
York,
Yeah.
featuring Alicia Keys
Mhm.
by Jay-Z. That's going to be my fifth selection for the 2009s. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this list was getting tricky around this decade right here.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's getting more and more tricky, but
Yeah.
I had to pull some
Yeah.
joints out there. And I had, like I said, I had the Millie Lil Wayne on there. It was another joint you said, like in the club, a 50 Cent joint I was thinking about. But
Yeah.
what was that joint that 50 did with Game?
How we do?
That was one of the songs.
That's Game Out. How we do?
How we do? Because that was when I was in the club. It wasn't the tunnel. Was we in the tunnel? What was it at? But the Game was there performing. We were there. It was 50 performed. Bob Deep performed.
Oh,
G
okay.
Unit was what you call it when Bob Deep was G Unit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it was crazy, B. That's one of the most. You know what I'm saying? I would have picked that song too. And that was that was after 50 dropped. That was in the 2000s, right?
Yeah. That was that. How we do came out in
The
I
Game
want to
album.
04, 05.
Yeah,
Like 05.
yeah. So that was a memorable
Yeah.
joint. But it was some joints I seen that I was like, you know what I'm saying? Had to bypass because 5 is just not enough. Even 10 is not enough, really. Like, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that's my list, man, for the
Uh-huh.
2000s. What you got for the
2010s.
Real quick,
2010?
before we even go for it, we can have this same discussion next week, and this whole list would be completely different.
That's what I
Because
was
Yeah.
no one is even,
Totally.
we're not even talking about.
I was like,
we're not even talking about the Roots.
A lot of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
A
Whole
lot of
lot.
people.
it's just this list can
Like we
be
ain't talking about special
Scar-
ed. We
yeah.
ain't talking
Scarface,
about Grand Poobah. Like
Scarface,
Oh my
Ice
gosh,
Cube.
special ed?
Well,
Oh my
this
god,
is what I'm saying. You understand? We understand
yeah,
what action. You understand? I got it,
you
man.
got it
I
made.
was going through it
Yeah,
last night. My people was like, nah, y'all need to do an early '90s and the late night. Y'all need to do an early '90s list. Like pick 5, 10 from there. I'm like, yo, it's going to be too
it's a,
crazy. It's too
it's a
many
lot.
options. Like we got
Yeah.
too many options.
Because if we did early nights, people still get left off.
yeah.
Yeah,
You still get left. It doesn't matter.
a decade
It
is
doesn't
just
matter.
too long. A decade is just too long.
Yeah.
A decade is just too long, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I think we talked about we're gonna do like albums.
Yeah, we should do albums
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we're gonna do
Influential albums of the decade.
Yeah. Do
Yeah,
albums and
albums.
that too. And change.
I think
So
that'll encompass everything, and so we'll do. I mean, it doesn't necessarily be next week. We can do it,
For sure,
like
for sure.
yeah.
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 But
Now I got something for the 2010,
2010 to 2020.
the 2010s. I don't have any for, I can pick some for 2020, but the 2010s,
It's hard.
I got 5, but they, I'm questioning some of
You just
so
pick some joints.
you probably know this song took off and went viral. Ray Shremmer, Black Beatles.
Okay.
Like that's it was just you couldn't. They had to did a dance to it and all. They had a dance and went viral on it. It's like it was just culturally worldwide. It just went out of here. This one, Drake used to call me on my cell phone hotline bling.
Okay.
On my cell phone. Yeah. 3. That's no order, but like the third one, like you talk about 2
Drake
Chainz
songs
birthday,
ain't
him and
no.
Kanye West, huh?
Drake song I like nah. But he had a hit. I can't front him.
Yeah. 2 Chainz featuring Kanye birthday song. It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
Yeah, that's the joint right there.
Oh, all I wanted
That's
my
the
birthday
joint
was
right
a big booty. Yeah. All right. The fourth one is Rick Ross. I think I'm Big Meech. Oh, Larry Hoover, BMF.
Larry
Hoover. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the song.
Him and Styles P on there. Styles P was on this like song, so that
For
was
real?
Styles P was on that song. Styles P was on there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Styles P's on there. He in the video and everything. You
On the
remember
remix?
that? No, it's original. It's the original song. Like the
Stop.
original came out.
Hold up,
Yeah.
man. I rock with Styles P. I was going to put Styles P on my list now. Like I was
That's a
rocking
hard.
Styles
He
P.
had the hard verse on there too. Like,
Styles
yeah,
P
the
is
in the video.
like we might have to do a show about the argument of like who's the best lyricist out of the group or who's the best
Styles
artist
P.
overall. Because Styles P, man, he's probably the illest
Styles
one.
P was on there. He was on there. Yeah, he was on there. Like, because I was yeah.
Maybe I had to hear it. To hear it, but
yeah, you heard it. He was on there spit.
Styles P and Rick Ross.
Yeah, Styles P and Rick Ross. Like, yeah. Jay was in the video, but like Styles P was on the album. Like, he put it out as the single with him and stuff feature Styles P. Yeah, no remix done.
That's hard right there. That's hard right there.
And my last one, this song came out at a time where it was a lot of, it was getting a lot, it just, I think this resonated with just the culture, Black culture, period. This song, like you hear this, Kendrick Lamar, All Right. We gonna be all right. He performed at this California, before the Super Bowl with Dr. Dre and Snoop and 50 and Eminem.
Eminem, right? Yeah,
we gonna be all right. So
that's right.
Off that To Pimp a Butterfly, so that, and people like they played it in the club, it went off. I remember we was in MJQ. I said, damn it, man, it went off.
That's a unity type song. That's like some more revolutionary type vibe. Too.
Yeah. So that was hard. That was hard. The 2010s, that was
hard.
I mean, it was like just trying to
pick some joints that you would really put you would really put on a list at all.
Yeah.
All right, so that was your 5.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go in with my 5 for 2010 and up to 2019, basically 2020 to 2019, 2010 to 2019. All right, so my first joint, and this is memorable because history was being made. I had my boy Corey, my son, and I actually did a remix for him and helped him write a verse for something that he did in school. He used this song, so I'm gonna go with your boy Jeezy. My president is black. That was
Okay.
2008. You know what I mean? Wait, oh shoot, that's 2010. I can't.
It's cool.
All right, well, I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna go with this other joint that I did record with my other son. I'm gonna go with March Madness.
But Future?
By Future.
Mm.
I'm gonna go with March Madness. That was, and I did a song March Madness, like I said, with Levi. Every time and we did a little video for it. Every time March come around, March Madness, the season of basketball, we got a song to play. You know what I mean? So March Madness is one of them joints with your boy Future, man, ATL. You already know. But my next joint, cats might not really know this joint too tough, but this joint was more memorable for me because when I was meeting my shorty and all that, this was one of our joints that we was ringing off all the time. You know what I'm saying? This is a joint by Shay Noir, called Menace, featuring 38 Special. So y'all might not know about that joint. That was an early, that was 2019, but that was a Nord joint that cats might not even know of. It was her song, and 38 was on it. It don't even say he was on the song, but he was on the joint.
Okay.
An ill cover, an ill throwback cover. Look, remember how Ghostface had that project 12 something?
13 Strokes a Day.
The cover was like kind of like the
grainy and stuff.
Yeah. So that joint with Shay Noir called Menace. It's about, Shorty and a nigga, trusting in the dude and trying to be in a relationship or whatever. So that run go off in time of music. I was meeting my wifey and all that. That was one of our joints that was real memorable for me. You know what I'm saying? All right, and then so my next joint for this era, I'm gonna go with your boy Fabulous, Cold Summer. So Cold Summer. I even that's when Cash
off the Soul Tape mixtape.
Yup. Summertime Shootout. I did one of the challenges. So that's Cold Summer was a challenge. I did. I had a hot little verse. I did that joint on IG and all that. So that definitely was a highlight. You know what I'm saying? So, that Cold Summer joint. You know what I'm saying? And man, let me see. Damn, I'm gonna have to go with. Oh man, I don't know, man. This one is a hard one. I think I'm gonna have to go with shoot, I'm trying to do somebody from Atlanta, man. I wanna do a Shorty Low song. Shorty Low. Well, you know that the Rerun It song, Shorty Low.
Yeah. No, Rerun.
Shorty Low, Rerun It.
R.I.P.
Rerun It. For Shorty Low. ATL, I was
Bandcamp.
There's a lot of the time when I was I didn't really realize how tight Gucci Mane and Shorty Low was.
Yeah. They real tight.
I was watching the video with my partners, we used to sell videos and DVDs and stuff. That era cats was selling DVDs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to go with that, boy. Your boy.
Okay.
So I know
was that 5 or that was 4? Yeah, because my first one was crazy.
Yeah, that was 5.
The last one I'm gonna have to go with Kanye West.
This is 5th one right here.
Oh, this is 5th one. Okay.
The Money song. What was that song Kanye West had that was Getting Money?
Getting Money.
I just threw that off the top of the head. But I remember that I was at DHL. It was 2008, around 2007, 2008. Kanye West, the Money joint. It's not the gold. It's not the gold digger joint. But Get This Money. Man,
Get This
Kanye
Money.
West, though. Kanye West.
You know what album it was off of?
It was in 2007, 2008 Kanye West album.
It's off the and then off the maybe off the Graduation album. I don't know. I can't think.
I know the title. The Graduation album.
trying to think. Yeah, shoot.
Well,
Keep
Can't
running.
tell me
it's gonna be
nothing.
it.
Can't tell me nothing. That's the song.
Can't tell me much. Oh, yeah, can't tell me nothing.
Can't tell
Was
me
that back
nothing.
then?
Yeah.
Was
That was
we?
06.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out with 6. Yeah, I remember that. Can't
Yeah.
tell me nothing.
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
okay. Had the Jeezy ad libs.
yeah, the
It's
G. Yeah.
actually it was actually Jeezy recorded the song to him, but he didn't like it. He didn't like the beat. And
See,
yeah,
that's
he
why
was like,
this is
he
crazy.
said, well, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna keep your ad libs. And that's why you hear his ad libs all over the song. Yeah. Then he
Yeah.
finally took off. He's like, I'm gonna get on the remix. And it's like, I told you I gave you a hit. Yeah. That was
Yeah,
my
man. So that's my list, man. It was kind of crazy. It was kind of all over the place, but
okay.
I told you that around this time it was like squeezing them joints out. Man.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so the 2020s now, we can bounce back on the 2020s. What you looking like for the 2020s?
I don't have, man, listen. Man, look, I don't have. I stopped at 2010. I couldn't even think. I mean, it's songs.
It's tough,
but
it's tough.
Yeah, but I got projects. I mean, look. Yeah.
I mean, I got things I listen to in the gym on my, my headphones, but I couldn't tell you whether or not they should be in the top 5 in terms of the 2020s and things like that.
I got a list that I
There's songs with Drake. There's songs with Drake and things of that nature that could be in there. Should he be in there? I mean, look, it's so extensive. It goes from the 80s. You go from hundreds of thousands, and now we're talking about millions of songs. And so,
but are they influential though? That's the thing. It's millions of songs, but did they impact you? You know what I mean? Did they make an impact? Do you have a memory? Does anything like in the gym? I get it. Unless you damn, bitched 1,000 on that one song. I don't know.
Yeah.
You feel me? You just listening to music. You understand?
Yeah,
but
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but see, it's just
it is hard.
It's hard when you get into the 2020s, man, and so I can't fault anyone. That's why I say I think it's unfair, even with the 80s and the 90s, because there's going to be so many. It's just not enough selection because Mama Said Knock You Out. Should that be on there in the 90s? That was literally 1990.
That was one of the biggest songs too. That was a big song for that year, whatever year that was.
Everyone remembers Mama Said Knock You Out.
Well, look, let me just do my quick little 5 list for the 2020s.
Okay.
Might be appreciated. So look, I'm gonna go with Nas, Spicy. That was my joint. We was waving. That dropped in 2020. On 2020, Spicy.
King Disease.
His whole King Disease album Wave. So it was a couple of joints like Blue Car 95. I don't know which one that was, but he had a couple of joints.
Yeah.
That he off that those 3 projects. That was 2020. I'm gonna go with another 2020 joint by your boy Conway featuring Method Man, Lemon Squeeze. You know what I'm saying? So Lemon Squeeze, put Lemon Squeeze on there by Conway featuring Method Man. That was another that was 2022. No, 2020 also. And I'm gonna have to go again with that same type of vibe. I'm gonna go with Ransom and 38 Special. They got this song called Last Gas, which is really one of the illest joints, because if people didn't realize or don't rock with them, they got Last Gas on the Conway project. I mean on the Ransom project, and it's on the 38 Special project. The same song. You know what I'm saying? So I picked that joint. That's pretty dope. And I'm gonna go with another joint from Ransom Dolo called JD's Revenge off his project that came out in 2020. I wrote probably like 3 songs to that song, listening to that song. You know what I'm saying? So I salute Ransom on there. That JD's Revenge. That's when he started waving and cats really wasn't on him like that. Like really knew he was out here like killing them like that with the bars. So you know what I'm saying? I was up on him early. And then I'm gonna have to go with my last joint for this 2020, which was a joint I was played at my wedding by your boy Stove God Cooks, Cocaine Cologne. That's one of my favorite joints off that album he had with
Rock Martin.
That song.
It's
God
funny you
cook.
mentioned cocaine. It's funny you mentioned
Right,
cocaine,
right,
man. I
right.
still got
Man,
because I think we're talking about the same cocaine from the West Coast, right?
Well, no, this is
no, it's
the name of the song was
song.
called Cocaine
Oh, the
Cologne.
name of the song. I
But
thought you
but
West Coast.
if you know about my hip hop, my I'm so hip hop interviews, I interviewed Cocaine. You
Yeah,
can
he
watch
interviewed.
that on Spotify. Yeah, the Cocaine from the West Coast.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
his daughter doing some music now and all that. Yeah, I interviewed him. Yep, he got a whole music box and with his music, his new projects, everything. He
Yeah.
doing his thing. Man. He doing his thing for sure. Right
Okay.
currently. So, yeah. I interviewed Cocaine B. That's what I'm saying. I be doing some things, man. I be
Yeah.
trying to
Mhm.
move,
I
man.
remember
I'm
you
telling
put
you.
it out there. You thought no one knew who I know exactly who cocaine is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he from
Yeah.
over there. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah. I got a couple of joints with cocaine
Yeah.
with the K, two
It
K.
was like he was the first Nate Dogg. Like he got so many songs.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Like he got so many features on people's songs. You know,
yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, I got a joint.
How'd you hook up with cocaine and do an interview with
man, come on, man. I got my West Side and
him?
Rider connection. I got my boy Jeff from BTP Media Group. He out there,
Yeah.
out there in Cali, man. So that's why I said I wanted to gear this up, get us back wavy, and then I'm gonna start telling him, we're gonna start linking back up, and I'm gonna get some more interviews with some hip hop legends, through my I'm So Hip Hop podcast joint, show whatever, music like social, all the same thing, but
Mhm.
hip
Yeah,
hop version. We're talking to legends. You know what I'm saying? I did
yeah.
MC Shan. I did a few people. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, yeah, B. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep it wavy. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna let y'all know if cats want to join the podcast or whatever.
yeah. I'm gonna get back. We gotta get Krista Glove back. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was the
see, we
one.
did
That's the
Chris the
first
Glove.
one.
Yeah, we did Chris the Glove. We was on it.
That's the
We got some. Yeah,
that's the one. That's to be the one that
that
he
was in
man.
Nice TV, and I did Rest in Peace, DJ Nasty Ness. You know DJ Nasty Ness? That was in the Posse's on Broadway.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
much love. Yeah,
Yeah. So he's he was just he just passed away. Rest in peace, DJ Nasty Ness. I interviewed DJ Nasty Ness too, man. You know what I'm saying? So I did interview. It's a few people, so we got to get back wavy, man, and then
yeah,
bring it back out to the forefront. Music like social, B, we here.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? So our list that was from the '80s to the 2020s.
Right.
General Mills, G Wiz, Rob Villa.
Yep.
We gotta I guess we're gonna come back, maybe
What albums?
What'd you say?
Albums for the
Album.
decade.
Yeah, we can do albums. We can do
Yeah, so we gonna
it's a big,
Just
so
go
hip
ahead.
hop so impactful. We could do albums, we could do best posse cuts,
Yeah, we could do posse cuts. We could do,
the
like
female MCs,
Mhm.
backpack rappers. We
best
could do
storytelling songs.
Yeah.
Who had the
nice.
best story.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
best
can turn it up
storytelling.
any way we want to. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a lot of, it's a lot of things like whatever, albums that were impactful.
Mhm.
It literally changed the game how we process like even with before I was with that Tupac, All Eyes on Me, nobody came out with no double album before.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody cared about that. And then when DMX was dropping 2 albums in 1
One
year,
year.
nobody did that before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He changed the trajectory of like, yeah.
Yo, that was crazy. Like, and it
And
was hard too. Both
yeah,
of the projects. Like,
yeah.
yo, this is
Pro-
crazy. And it was from Def Jam. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It was like you wouldn't
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? You think
He
of the
changed the way, like, cause you put out an album, you had to wait another 2 or 3 years before they
Yeah.
put out another album.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure. Yep.
It's like,
So they changed it, and I guess he was making their money so quick.
yeah, they offered him like they want him to go back in after their second. He's like, "Yeah, we give you $1 million if you put out another album on top of what we give you now." He's like, "All right," and he put it out.
Yeah,
Put it out. So yeah,
like you said, pivotal points that change history, how things go now.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the internet coming in, blasting in, and taking over. Like Soldier Boy, don't forget. Like they had that list, the top worst list, worst MCs, and they was just stupid. People don't
I
know.
seen that. Yeah,
People are crazy. B. How you got Ludacris on the list? How you
clickbait.
got Cassidy on the list?
Yeah,
Ludacris was on there.
yeah,
Cassidy was on
yeah.
there.
They had mad people
You
on
had
there.
mad people that shouldn't
Nah,
have been on there.
Freeway. I think Freeway was
Yup,
on there.
Freeway was on there.
Freeway.
I'm
Yeah,
like, who the hell?
To this
Who the
day,
hell? Like,
to this day, I still bump that the 03 Freeway.
yeah. That album was hard.
That album
That
that
was
new
was
hard.
dope.
Freeway is hard too, though. His new
That was
project is hard too.
yeah.
They was putting. Yeah, they was putting. Yeah, they was mixing cats. They was putting cats in that they put cats that should have been on the list, but they were mixing with cats that didn't need to be on. That didn't need to be on there at all. Yeah, that list was crazy.
Yeah, they did.
Well, I don't
Some of
They
understand.
didn't do it for. When they be putting out lists, I look at who put it out, and then I be looking like they doing it for clickbait. That's yeah, y'all doing this for
Yeah, for
clickbait,
That,
and
that,
y'all
that
doing
is,
this for.
yeah, that's
You don't even know.
nonsense.
You don't even know what you're talking about, like especially with those other publications that it's not part of us. I was like, yeah, y'all don't know what y'all talking about.
Yeah,
Y'all got it.
yeah.
You
They
know
going off of sales or they going off of something. I don't know what's the
what?
metrics is built off of, but
Yeah,
they're going off of something.
yeah. So I was like, yeah. Cats making these lists born in 2000, 2001. I was like, bro, you weren't there. you can't even
Right.
fathom, So yeah, that's what's up now. So we we about to sign off.
Yeah,
Rob
man,
Villa,
wrap it up.
MLS, Double S in the building.
You already
All
know.
right,
General
it
Mills,
is.
as always, salute.
So
We
next
see you
time,
see you on the next go around.
Music
word.
Life.
Peace. Yes.
All right, you stopped it. Cool.